Okay guys, my name is Aaron Blanton. I just wanted to video the unboxing of the books I had made through Christian Faith Publishing. I feel like they did a pretty good job. Just wanted to actually already open the boxes, but kind of left them the way they were. You see here, this is the paperback edition. It's called Reindeer in My Room. You see front and back here, it's got about the book, just a little brief about the book, and you see there Christian Faith Publishing, and it's just a story about a boy that makes a wish on Christmas that he can have his very own reindeer, and that's exactly what he gets. And you see here, this is the hardcover edition. That's the front cover, and then the back, same thing as the paperback, except it has print on the spine on the hardcover. Now I think they turned out really good. I'll show you some of the illustrations. Through Christian Faith Publishing, you send them the manuscript and they'll approve it or disapprove, but if they approve it, then you kind of move forward there. And what I did was send them my own illustrations, and they will digitally format them, and then actually they also make a book trailer for you and also an ebook as well. Now they go through Ingram and also Spring Arbor. I believe Spring Arbor actually prints and distributes their paperback editions, and I believe Ingram does their hardcover, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, I'm just going to open this box. I ordered 150 paperback copies, and then also 100 hardcover, which I haven't gotten all the hardcover yet. But in this box, they packaged it two different ways. This box had 30 in it, and they just used like paper. And you see there, and they all came in really good condition. There's no issues whatsoever. Alright, and now this box here actually had 60 in each of these. I had two boxes of 60 and then one of 30. The two that had 60 in it came with the bubble wrap, the big bubble wrap like this. Now I'd already taken some of it out, but it came, nice and secure. And there was no damage, no wrinkles to the edges or anything. Everything was nice and crisp. And I placed the order about a week and a half ago, a little less than 2 weeks, and they've shown up already, so it's pretty quick. And basically, through Christian Faith Publishing, it's basically like your CreateSpace or your Ingram Spark, I believe. I've never gone through them, but I imagine it's pretty similar. It's just you're not left to your own devices. They, with the contract I had, it ended up being a 44-page book, and basically the contract was like $3,600 to begin with. It included 12 illustrations in that contract. I ended up having to do 19 altogether, so that was an additional $525. So it was about $4,200, but they do all the digital illustrations for you, all the typesetting, editing, you name it. So you're not having to figure it all out. And for me, that was the best bet because I'm not great with computers. Although you do all the work online. You send them the manuscript, via email, and they will send you proofs of the artwork. They'll send you a storyboard and all that, and you approve it. And once you approve one step, then you move forward to the next. And they lay all that out on their website and tell you the whole process. But like I said, they also make you an ebook, and they make you a book trailer, which they'll display online and stuff, kind of get the word out. And they also do a press release as well. So in this particular book, like I said, is about a little boy that makes the wish that one day he can have a reindeer of his very own that he can feed and care for. And it's written in rhyme in anapesic tetrameter with iambic substitution. And this is a little boy here. He actually looks almost identical to my 8-year-old son. So that's kind of why we wrote it. This was last Christmas when we decided to write the book. It's now October 31st. So it took a good 10 months, start to finish. And at the time, one of the reasons we wrote it is I wanted to get my son excited about reading and help him along with reading. He was in 2nd grade at the time and was struggling a little bit with reading and writing and stuff. So I figured what better way than to get him involved personally in writing a book about himself and then getting him involved in the process of writing the book. So I figured that would help him out, get excited about reading. So. Alright, and I'll show you some of the marketing tools that I've used thus far. This is a little book stand I got at Staples, and it'll hold about 20 copies of the paperback edition, and I believe it holds 10 hardcover, something like that. Picked it up at Staples. I believe that stand right there is like $36, so it's not cheap. And this is just where I put about the author with picture of us, my wife and son and I. It's an older picture, but you can see the resemblance of him and the character in the book. And then also made some business cards, front and back, which is extremely cheap way to advertise your book. You can get 1,000 of these at like your local printing shop for about $40. So I printed them front and back. See, and it looks just like the book's cover, front cover and back cover. And it just has the about the book on it. It's in pretty small print because they're just standard sized business cards. So we had to fit it all onto a small business card. But at the bottom, what I did, if you can see it on here, is it says where you can purchase the book. You can't, it's not really showing up. It says Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple iTunes, and then it has the price for the hardcover and paperback edition, and also the ebook. And then I also put my phone number on there in case anybody wanted to contact me personally and get a signed copy and stuff like that. So, and another thing I did with these business cards, being that it's Halloween, around Halloween, is we went to a trunk or treat at my parents' church where there's like probably 1,000 people or so, tons of kids. And my parents were already handing out candy with their church. So I sat with them and put these in each and every kid that walked by, put it in their trick-or-treat bag. So they'll be able to show that to their parents and they'll be able to purchase it. And it's just before Christmas, so it's perfect timing. So, alright, I got some other things. Another thing I did to help market my book was, okay, Christian Faith Publishing will place your book for sale at Amazon.com and also BarnesandNoble.com. What they don't necessarily do is get you into the brick and mortar Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and stuff like that. So what you have to do, what I did, was I made a list of all the, not all of them, but tons of Barnes & Nobles across the country, like California, Colorado, Texas, Florida, South Carolina, different places like that, coast to coast. And I just wrote down their location, their phone number, and their email address. And what I did was I called them up and asked them if they would carry my book for Christmas. Now, the first thing they do is they look up the ISBN number and they will say, okay, this is a print-on-demand book, and that's how Christian Faith Publishing does it, as well as most self-publishing companies. They use print-on-demand, and what that means is you print, when somebody orders a copy, they'll print a single copy and ship it to the person that purchased it. Okay. Now, most Barnes & Noble stores do not like to carry print-on-demand books for the reason that if they order it in store and nobody buys it, then most of the print-on-demand companies do not accept returns. Now, this particular one does accept returns, and it's marked returnable. So what you do, you call them up and say, you know, will you carry my book, this and that, and you come up with a whole spiel and kind of stick to the same thing every time that you call them. You know, try not to deviate from what your little sales pitch is. And basically they'll say, we don't normally carry print on demand. So what I do is like, yeah, it's print on demand, but it's also returnable, so will you shortlist a couple copies? And so they will agree to do that. Usually I called about 80 of them, and I got 34 of them to agree to carry them. So that's pretty good. And what they'll do, shortlist means that they'll order 1 to 5 copies in store, and then they'll proof that copy. And if they're able to sell them, they'll obviously order more. So that's a good thing. It gets in front of more people. And I will recommend, if anybody's writing a book for the first time, to gear the subject matter towards something that already sells itself pretty well, like Christmas or Easter or Halloween. Something that already has a huge market of its own. Makes it a little easier to sell. This is another thing that I made. That's another manuscript. Anyway, is a coloring packet. Now, when Christian Faith Publishing, when they send you the storyboard of your illustrations, they actually send them in black and white. So what I did is when they sent me the illustrations in black and white, I printed